This is the European edition of Breaking Banks, the world's #1 fintech podcast and radio show. We bring you the European unicorns, startups, founders, regulators, and leaders innovating the rapidly evolving fintech scene today. A truly localized podcast with both English and local language content, with some of the world's most well-known hosts and influencers in the fintech sector globally. Join us every week as we explore what makes the European Union a phenomenal proving ground for many of the fastest growing fintech plays in the world today. Okay, let's roll.
Hey guys, welcome back to Breaking Banks Europe. I'm Matteo Rizzi, the executive producer of the show. Today is show number 263. I'm here with my friend Alex from InvestGlass to comment the hot news from Europe. Alex, very, very, very welcome to Breaking Banks Euros. Your first time.
Hello, Matteo. Yes, first time. I'm glad to be with you today. Thank you.
So, first of all, quickly, why do I pick you? Besides the fact that we are friends for many years, and you are one of the, I want to say, young OGs of the fintech space. So give us a little bit of background about yourself.
Sure. Thank you, Matteo. I'm the CEO of InvestGlass. It's a company I founded in 2014. We are located in the beautiful city of Geneva, Switzerland. InvestGlass is offering sales automation platform for banks. We power banks like Arab Bank, Crédit Agricole, among others, but also asset managers and brokers. And they come to us because we offer a Swiss, non-American alternative to automate onboarding, investment profiling, investment solutions, as well as marketing, and now recently an AI for bankers, which you can host on your premise. So far from US regulation, with data residency and data sovereignty. That's what we do.
Great. So actually, it is a transition, a nice transition with two of the news I wanted to talk about. One is about powering bank, and the second one is about AI. So let's start with the first one. I don't know if you have seen, but there is this French company called Swan. I interviewed Nicolas Benadi, its CEO, I believe, at the Milan FinTech Summit a couple of months ago. And they just raised like $42 million, which is a big round for Europe. And they preach embedded finance all over the places. And I don't know if what do you think about it, but there are many are thinking that embedded finances will produce the next sort of unicorns, right? Because the moment that you couple basically a non-financial partners, but has a tremendous reach, right, in terms of clients and data and insights about your customer behavior, you actually maximize, right, the impact of your solution, because all of a sudden you immediately turn on a huge amount of clients in a much faster way. What do you think about it?
Yeah, I think Swan has been amazing. Their expansion, their revenue growth. The four founders have been following them for years, and they are really a source of inspiration. Definitely raising 42 million in a complex market as we know today, it's quite impressive. But I think they're going to do something very, very, very smart, because they launched in one market after the other, right? It's not like throughout Europe. I think it was Netherlands, then there was Italy, and they're going to focus now on Belgium and the UK. So it's one market after the other. Yes, I said the UK, even if it's not in Europe fully, right? But I think they are also going into a very smart system, which is the custom cards programs, and they will definitely meet a lot of success in the coming years, I'm sure, with this new round.
Actually, I still remember Nicolas Benadi was together with the CEO of Fabric in Italy, as well as the CEO of Solaris Bank. So it was a very, I still remember we made a joke like this very typical joke. There is a German, a French, and an Italian.
In the plane,
yeah, exactly.
in a plane on the boat, yeah.
Exactly, something like this. And but truly, like everyone was so passionate about this empowering, the financial services for non-financial players, and I really do think that there will be many more, not only sort of embedded finance generic, but as well as verticals. So I'm expecting, I'm just making this up, but like in the travel industry, for example, like startups that will enable financial services in a travel industry because their needs is very like specific, right? So Swan is very much like omni-comprehensive. They power up a different sort of businesses, but I agree with you. I predict a brilliant future for them. So, and I know I'm not respecting the order we agreed about, but you talk about AI as one of the arrows, that you added, at your arch. And of course, there is no proper sort of news talks these days that doesn't talk about DeepSeek, right? And the big waves that this teenager, or at least look like a teenager Chinese, all of a sudden sort of literally pull it out of a cylinder, and then all of a sudden sort of rivalizing with the billions of dollars spent, by the ChatGPT of this world and OpenAI. So, you are also on the, I want to say, technical implementation, very much like deep into that. What's your take on this?
Well, I think that it's a very serious story behind DeepSeek. We, of course, are testing all LLMs. So we're not producing LLMs. We are implementing LLMs for what we call today workflows or agentic. So, of course, we've been testing it. I think it's actually 9 times cheaper and 4 times faster. And even on the new release, compared to the one we've been testing first of DeepSeek, it's now 3 weeks ago, the version is already twice faster. I think it's a real threat to the US. If I have to compare it, I can compare it to a very expensive old-style Wrangler, the Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
If gas is unlimited and it's cheap, so why would we actually produce little car like in Italy if we can, run big ones? But the reality is that now this AI will be embarked into a smaller computer, and that is going to be absolutely impressive. Also, I think OpenAI has been very strong in marketing, but one of the biggest issue of OpenAI compared to DeepSeek is that OpenAI has been hiding the reasoning behind the background. They said that they had a big reasoning, but they hide it. And very quickly in January, very beginning of January, we have seen some announcements of the few copycats of the models. And I guess, well, DeepSeek waited for just before the Chinese New Year like this. People in China can actually download DeepSeek during the Chinese New Year, which is the biggest holiday, to test it. And you cannot go against a population of 1.5 billion people testing your application, right? So it's going to be a big change, I think, in the AI world. And in terms of transparency, OpenAI, you run it, you're paying for tokens that you don't see. And that's a big issue, right? Now, I've been testing the app of DeepSeek. It's actually quite impressive. And they're going to be, I'm sure, more pressure now with OpenAI and Claude as well. And I'm eager to see what's going to happen now.
Do you think actually that in some way OpenAI will, I read some news that, they are already sort of, try to learn, from DeepSeek in terms of how to implement the new model, how to do it in a less expensive way, or is only marketing fast? What do you think?
I think they're great in marketing. They have to, don't you think so? I mean, they have to raise an amount that is absolutely stupidly immense, right? So
Totally.
they will just continue the marketing, and this fight is just going to be a fight of chips. We've seen the value of Nvidia collapsing by 580 billions. Interestingly, the collapse happened a week after the announcement of DeepSeek. So was it on purpose? Was it
Yeah.
provoked by someone else? Who knows? Um, but the reality is going to be a fight of chips, and the fight of chips will not be Nvidia, because the Chinese will have Nvidia-like chips within the next 12 to 24 months that will be cheaper, faster to chip, and they won't have any needs from Taiwanese TSMC or Nvidia anymore in 2 years. So it's going to be a big change in terms of AI geopolitics that we're gonna see.
I also think it was funny because the of course the moment DeepSeek was announced, especially on social media, but on American social media, I'm talking about Facebook,
Yeah.
there were like a lot of people say, oh, I put, tell me who Mao Zedong is, and sort of DeepSeek, didn't give an accurate answer, because oh no, this is like too old for me or something like that. So people were like very basically and poorly trying to demonstrate that the DeepSeek wasn't accurate enough, but that was so clearly like a way to confuse the ideas of the masses. I mean, it was so demagogical. It was incredible. It was incredible. Anyway, talking about I want to say big shift. There was another one that was announced recently, which is a partnership between X, former Twitter, and Visa to enable payments inside X, which it is something that has been tried before. Twitter, when it was still called Twitter, they already tried without really, succeeding to do something like this. It seems like a common denominator for most of the social media apps to try to get into financial services. Do you think this time is the right one?
Well, I think this time is going to be the right one, no? I think Elon Musk was desperate. Don't you think so? To have it run at last?
Let's get controversial. Sure, go ahead.
I mean, there are a few ways of putting it. I don't think that this is going to be a threat to traditional banks. If Elon Musk plays it smart, he's going to go more against a Stripe on the markets to try to do, I would say, a technical solution to facilitate payments, and this will be again a way to implement even a bigger KYC, right? Because now into this X media, you have to get a subscription. People or know who you are, and I think it's a great way to reinforce the KYC of the structure, and it will allow, I think, new way of paying among the members, and accept payments and store funds, maybe creating a crypto service, who knows, around X. But I think this time it should work.
But tell me, Alex, why do you think there is, or what? Isn't it redundant? I mean, we're talking about like a peer-to-peer, like a payment system that today you could do it on Facebook very easily. There are there are a gazillion ways to make peer-to-peer payments. Is like a solution looking for a problem, this one, or because it doesn't seem to solve something that hasn't been done today? It might be convenient, or is this just like a frontally competing with so many other forms of peer-to-peer payments that is going to be just redundant?
It's a good question. Either you see it as a competitor of Zelle or Venmo, right? Or you think, okay, is this not just a service or product? It's an ecosystem. I believe that Elon Musk sees X like a new political ecosystem, right? So you have to, who can dream of a better ecosystem than Visa, right? Visa or MasterCard. So Visa is well known, is well respected. The system is working well. You have Visa Direct, of course, and I think it's a fantastic way of creating a new partnership with one of the biggest payment system. Makes completely sense, I think. Maybe it's redundant, but I think it's a way to secure also with also a brand name your payment system. Everyone knows about Visa. No one is going to doubt about Visa. People can be skeptical about X and the new algorithm of X. So it's they're buying some credits, right? So yeah.
Well, truth being told, I mean, there are a lot of people who are getting out of this or different other social medias, like the recent, let's say, the US elections, provoked, a sort of a new wave, of I think like a public opinion is very much polarized, right? And I saw a lot of people just getting out of social media just by protest. But the thing is, what's the alternative, right? So eventually, or unfortunately, I don't think that this will be like enough for not making a solution like this relevant indeed. There is another huge partnership, and incredibly enough, you knew it before. Actually, I shared it with you as a topic to talk about, which is this partnership. Sorry, between Euroclear and Microsoft. Like it's huge deal, 7 years long. And actually, Euroclear, I take the opportunity to like little kudos to them because. They are the ones thanks to which we are launching Time Pledge. So Euroclear, Euroclear Foundation has granted us enough money to start our upskilling program with students in Africa. So we're starting with 30 data scientists in Uganda, thanks to Euroclear. So, but it's not for this reason that we are bringing this in the show, but I'm just making the connection. So what about it? What happened?
So the partnership will enable Euroclear Group to use Microsoft Azure and Microsoft Copilot. Of course, it's the new success for Microsoft, which is gaining more and more institutional clients. But this one is a bit special, right? Because Euroclear is the cornerstone of all the payments and all the transactions in Europe. Of course. For us, this is a potential threat if you envision it as a way to collect the data. It's a dependency to the US. So again, if everything goes fine with the geopolitics, everything goes fine. But what will happen in those next years with Donald Trump? Who knows? And creating a dependence to Microsoft actually for this type of AI could be a threat. So I'm sure they are big boys and everything will be secured. But yes, to know that the financial infrastructure will be more compliant and more secure and reliable with an American AI, you'll judge. But I think it's not very, I would say, European friendly, perhaps. We'll see. We'll see.
And actually, I suppose that you mentioned it in the opening when you were introducing yourself. I think that the fact that you guys are based in Switzerland and the data handling is going to be like clearly not in the US, but very much locally and in a safe space. Is that like a strong argument? I mean, I don't want you to to do a sales speech for InvestGlass, but
sure.
Just on the on the data sensitivity. Is the attention that clients are paying into this type of matters increased recently?
Yes, I think it increased because you have two topics: is the data sovereignty and the data residency. The data sovereignty, everything started with the Terrorist Act and the Cloud Act, partly the Cloud Act, which facilitates the US government in sizing data wherever it is. And do you know why, Matteo? It started because Microsoft refused back then to distribute his emails stored in Ireland to the FBI in the US, saying, no, we are an Irish company, we are Microsoft Ireland. So they created this regulation, and which facilitates now the sizings of this data, this collection of data. And this continue. Some companies, of course, will say, we don't care, it's all fine. Some others are obsessed about that. And I would say even more, they're obsessed about the data residency. So it's not only running on a server or on a software that is not in a friendly country, but it's also to know that the data is stored in a place that is actually under their control. So it could be their own server, it can be in specific countries where they have a full access to the software and to their data. And I believe that this is going to be the next big thing, right? Because having a Microsoft AI or any other type of AI is like hiring people today, I would say, stupid people from another country working for you. But where is the data? And is the data going to be deleted permanently? Well, no. So you're reinforcing their own AI with your own proprietary data. That's the big challenge that we're going to have to face. Can we have then the power to compute those type of AI without having the Azure networks, the Azure cloud system? My belief is yes. Maybe not today, but if we have the same conversation with breaking banks in 2026, I'm pretty sure that we'll have big surprises because we'll be able to run AI in a smaller servers, and Microsoft Azure will be definitely less relevant just because our own local computers and chips will be able to do the same job.
Alex, thanks a lot for this overview. We talked about different topics, and I'll take your word. I'll invite you back in a few months and see if the landscape has changed. Thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Matteo. Bye-bye.
And guys, this is a wrap.
Thanks for listening to Breaking Banks Europe, a Provoke Media podcast in cooperation with Fintech Stage. Don't forget to tweet us out, shout out, or post to the team at Breaking Banks EU on Twitter. If there's something or someone you'd like to hear on our cast, let us know. See you next week on Breaking Banks Europe.